Okay, so today we're going to expand our understandings of proportions and learn something called a cross product, which is just going to make solving proportions so easy and fun. Yay! All right, so let's start with a proportion that we know is true. So do you agree that 3 is to 5 as 6 is to 10? Agree? Because we know 3 times 2 is 6, 5 times 2 is 10. Yes. Okay, well, if we take their cross product, what we do is we think about, and I'm going to draw this, we think about this x here, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply 3 times 10, that's this cross product, and that should be equal to 5 times 6. Is that true? Well, 30 on this side and 30 on this side. That's true. Would it matter if I said 3 times 10 is equal to 6 times 5? No, because the commutative property of multiplication says it doesn't matter which order we multiply in. Okay, so that's something called a cross product. Works every time. Okay, a simple one. 1/2 is equal to 3 over 6. 1 times 6 is 6, 2 times 3 is 6. Sure enough, their cross products are equal. Okay? So formally, using algebra, the cross product property, and it would be great if you put this in your notes, looks like this. It says that if A is to B, we'll say if, A is to B as C is to D, then what's true? Think of that cross, that X. Then AD, A times D, is equal to C times B, or B times C, doesn't matter. What must be true about B and D? Do you remember? Check and make sure B and D are not 0. Okay, that's called the cross product property. And it's going to make solving proportions so much easier. Okay, so if we just take some proportions that we had from yesterday, you'll see how great this works. So for instance, here's an example. Let's suppose we have x over 12, and we're told that equals 3 over 8. Okay, so we would say 8x is equal to 36, right? So x is equal to 36 over 8. 8 goes into 36, right? 4 times, and that leaves me with 4 over 8, or 4.5. Okay, so cross products can really make solving proportions so much easier. Okay, let's see. One more example here. Okay, so let's say we want to solve 5 is to 12 as x is to 36. All right, well, we can get out our calculators. That's one way to do it. So let's do it by using cross products. Actually, let's do it the easier way first. So the first strategy I always want you to use is to think to yourself, well, how can I compare these denominators? Can I get from 12 to 36 easily? And the answer is yes, because you know that there's 3 dozen and 36. Okay, so solving this easily, I can see that x is equal to 15. All right, but if I didn't see that, I would set up my cross product. I'd say 5 times 36 is equal to 12x. Okay, get out my calculator. Let's see if I can do it more gracefully this time. Okay, so I would say 5 times 36. I hit enter. Okay, that gives me 180. So 180 is equal to 12x. How do I solve for x? Divide by 12. Divide by 12. Okay. Now all I have to do is hit the division symbol because my calculator remembers the 180 and divide that by 12. And there it is, 15. Okay. So it took me a little bit longer. We always want to try to figure out the fastest way to solve a problem. So your best strategy, compare your denominators first before you jump to a cross product. Okay? All right, so you learned two things today. You learned how to tell if proportions are equal. So the question might say, is it true that 12 over 20 is the same as 32 over 50? So you're going to test it. There's going to write a question mark there, and you're going to say, is it true that 12 times 50 is equal to 32 times 20? Okay? The other kind of problem you learned was to use a cross product to find a proportion. So for instance, you might have 9 over x, and you might have 1.5 over 7 on this side. So you're going to say, solve it this way. 1.5x is equal to 9 times 7. Okay? So can you finish these two up? And bring them in for tomorrow. You're all set. Okay? See you Friday.